Okay, good morning guys, or good afternoon, I don't know when you're going to watch this. If you are in quarantine, which I think you are, or I hope you are, um, now is a good time to learn a new skill. So what I'm going to do for you guys is each day, or try each day, with a newborn you never really know, but try each day to give you a new video with the next step in learning the handstand. The handstand is a really fun skill to learn. It takes a while, so while you have all this free time and walls in your house, floors in your house, you have all the equipment that you need. We're going to start today with the most important piece, and that's a wrist warm-up. You are not going to get upside down today. We're going to make sure that your wrists are actually capable of supporting your entire body weight. That's a big thing. We don't want you to come out of quarantine with sore wrists or carpal tunnel syndrome. Okay, so you don't need any special equipment for your wrist warm-up. I'm just using a yoga mat on the floor, but you don't even really need a yoga mat. You can just go directly on the floor. I'm going to describe in detail what I'm doing with a clip to watch, but it will be nice later if you can just play the clip after you've watched it and just listen to my voice and do the wrist warm-up so that you don't need to try to watch and do at the same time. So here are my hands on a flat surface. The first thing I make sure is that my index fingers are facing forward and that my fingers are spread, and most importantly, my elbows are rotated inwards. This is going to become really important when you're upside down. If you have these bent elbows when you're upside down, you're going to start to really strong arm the handstand or try to use a lot of your biceps. What we want to use is our shoulders. So I turn my elbows in and I try to use just the strength of my shoulders in this exercise. So the first movement is just leaning forward, but as far forward as you can. Far forward as I can, keeping my elbows straight and keeping my hands flat. 3, 4. I will do this 10 times, each time trying to reach a little bit further over my fingertips, and the last time holding it for 10. Good. Without lifting my hands up or taking a break, I'm going to bring my hands together so that my wrists are touching and my middle fingers are pointing directly out to either side. I'm going to make big circles. I'll do 10 to the right and 10 to the left. With these circles, you're really moving around the whole joint. So if you find a spot that doesn't feel so good or feels a little bit tight, you can kind of stay there and wiggle around in it and then keep going. Switching directions as well. Remember, 10 times to the right and 10 to the left. Now you're going to turn your fingers towards your knees. And just like we did going forward, we're going to do 10 rocks with a 10-second hold. So rocking backwards as much as I can. The heel of my palm can lift up a little, but I'm trying not to do this. I'm really pushing with the heel of my palm and my fingers at the same time. So rocking back 10 times and holding it. Always a 10-second hold. Now I've moved my fingers all directions, and now I'm going to put the back of my hands on the floor. This one might feel very sensitive at first, and you're more than welcome to do one hand at a time. What you want to do when you put the back of the hand on the floor is to make sure that your elbow is straight, and then you're going to get a nice little stretch in the forearm by leaning backwards. Again, if it's too intense to do both hands at the same time, you can just do one, but we do the same counting, 10 seconds. 10 rocks back and a 10-second hold. And then I bring my fingers in and I move side to side, 10 times each side. I move my wrists out, same thing, 10 times. As you can see, I'm really moving into all the different areas of my wrists by putting my hands in all different directions. Now your hands might feel a little stiff, need a break, so you can go ahead and shake them out. The next super important wrist exercise is called a first knuckle raise. It's basically like doing a calf raise, but with your hands. A calf raise is when you're standing on your feet flat and you lift your heel off of the floor and you bring the heel back down. We're basically doing the exact same things with our hands. It's important to do this one correctly because it's really going to serve as the foundation for your handstand. If your hands aren't flexible or strong enough to support your body weight, it's going to be really difficult to get upside down and to hold it. So this one again is called the first knuckle raise, and I'll show you with the side view. Same position as before, index finger facing forward, the elbows are turned in. For this one, I'm gonna make sure my thumb stays off of the floor. I'm gonna bring my fingers all the way up as much as I can. Sorry, my palms, not my fingers. My fingers stay flat, and then I lower my palms back down. Slow. 3. I'll show you a front view so you see what's happening with my thumbs. You'll feel the strength needed to complete this exercise. We do 10, and this one there's no hold. After you do your wrist warm-up, I would suggest doing 3 sets of 10 of the first knuckle raises. Already, you'll probably be feeling it in the wrists. The nice thing about this wrist warm-up and the first knuckle raises is it's applicable to a lot more than just the handstand. If you strength train, if you practice yoga, if you sit in an office all day, these can be strengthening exercises, they can be rehab exercises, and they can be prehab exercises, so preventing your wrists from getting injured no matter what activity that you're doing. So go ahead and get started with your wrist warm-up. You can do it a couple times throughout the day. We'll always start the handstand practice with this wrist warm-up, and tomorrow we're going to get started with strengthening, moving, and mobilizing the shoulders.